When I first started playing music, I was 12 years old, and I would spend hours flipping through my dad's record collection. So one night, I come across this album that sounds strangely familiar. And I asked my dad, who's the lead singer of this group? Huge smile comes over his face. It was him. Senior year of high school in 1969 or something like that, my dad's band put out their own record. Their own record! Like, when you're 12 years old, that is the coolest thing you've ever heard. Forget about draining the game-winning basket at the buzzer. This is art. This is something you can make and smell and touch and share to your friends. Like, having a record, that's the kind of thing that could live in the world forever. And so from that moment on, I knew that I wanted to do something similar with my own work. My artistic and entrepreneurial motor started revving up that night. It was like my moment of conception, and it hasn't stopped chugging since that day. And so my dad's work not only captured my imagination, but it kick-started my ambition. You see, before I started playing music, I already knew I was going to be a writer. When I was 5 years old, I already was a writer. It really wasn't a dream as much as a dominant reality. I think we all have this thing in life where we look back and we can't remember not doing it. You know what I mean? It's like the territory you can always go to, the instrument you can always play. Writing was the thing that when I did it, it put me back together. Like, if writing wasn't the answer, I rephrased the question. And the cool part is that wiring never really changed. I've come to discover that focus isn't really about activity, it's about identity. Focus is about having clarity about who we are and refusing to be anybody else other than ourselves. The idea of writing allowed me to embrace the natural inclinations that I have and kind of do the only thing that felt right to me. Focus really wasn't about hammering one nail all of our lives, it's hammering lots of nails, but doing it one way all your lives. And the tricky part is that identity is kind of a luxury item. Not everybody is fortunate enough to become who they are. Who knew identity was such a blessing? George Carlin has always been one of my heroes. As a writer, as a comedian, as a performer, and also just as a person, I loved that man. His comedy specials, I would memorize and say them to my friends. What I love about George Carlin, though, is he was surprisingly poetic, sensitive, and romantic. I read this interview with him a couple years before he died, and he had a great line, and he said, "There are nights when the wolves go silent and only the moon howls." That blew my mind. That's such a, 60s psychedelic, crazy sort of astral thought, but it inspired me. And it was that line that became the bridge in a song called Cold Recover. And what I love about this part of the song is I actually howl like a wolf. And in the tunnel, it's pretty cool because of the echoes. So during the concert, I got a chance to howl, and then everybody in the tunnel howled too. We don't howl enough. We should do it more.
Late to the table, serving crumbs. My world is one with such strange appetites. It's so right. Everything else seems wrong. Oh, pound his foot in the ground and let the neighbors fight on the lawn. On the cold recover. Squeeze my nickel to the buffalo sheds, and you send my mind to it's a secret of heaven. Futility, everything is a fertile ground. Oh, smoldering shop and leave a trace without a sound. On a cold cover, this soul beloved, this cold cover, and the old nights when all the wolves, they will go silent, and we will hold tight as the moon, she will go hiding. And on those nights when all the wolves, they will go silent, and we will hold tight as the moon goes howling. Everybody! On this cold cover, this soul lover, this cold. Thank you.